The heavy roar of a Navy ship's engines could be heard for miles, but on the deck, there was a silence that carried something heavier than the weight of the sea. There, amidst the endless stretch of water and the blinding sun, stood James Mitchell, a man who had seen the harshest parts of life both on and off the battlefield. Yet, the Navy didn't know who he truly was. Not yet. James was a single father to a son named Evan, a 12-year-old boy with more questions than answers about his dad's mysterious life as a sailor. The walls of their small apartment were filled with hand-drawn pictures, school reports, and a few cherished photographs. Evan had never truly understood why his father was often away for months at a time, but he loved him more than anything. James had joined the Navy to protect his family and give his son a future that he could never have imagined. But the one thing he couldn't give him was the luxury of having him home every day. On a particularly hard day aboard the USS Valor, James found himself standing by the rail, staring out at the endless horizon. The sun beat down on his uniform, and the salt from the ocean air stung his skin. The weight of the job, the pressure of the Navy, and the pull of his family back home tugged at his heart. As he stood there, lost in thought, a voice broke through the calm. "You look like you've seen a ghost, Mitchell. Or maybe you're just bored," said SEAL Team Leader Brian Donovan, a seasoned warrior who had seen more battles than he could count. Brian was known for his humor, and for his ability to push everyone around him to the edge, just enough to make them uncomfortable, but always with a smirk on his face that made you question whether he was serious or just trying to get a rise out of you. James gave a tight smile, maybe a little of both. Brian leaned against the railing next to him. "What's the deal, man? You've been so quiet lately. Did you get a letter from home, or something?" "I wish it were that simple," James muttered, glancing away. Brian chuckled, clearly not sensing the deeper sadness that lingered beneath James' words. "Well, hey, if you're feeling homesick, maybe you should have taken a different job. Or, wait, maybe you've got a rank higher than me now? You're not looking so rough, Mitchell. Maybe you outranked me, huh?" The words were meant as a joke, a playful jab, but James felt something stir deep within. In that moment, he realized that even someone like Brian, a Navy SEAL with an entire life of experiences and battles, had no idea who he really was. James took a deep breath and stood straighter, though a faint smirk curled at the corner of his mouth. "Yeah, Brian, I outrank you, but it's not about the rank." Brian raised an eyebrow. "Oh, really? You're gonna pull the 'it's about duty, not rank' card on me?" "Actually, yes. You see," James paused, his mind racing back to the moments when duty had pulled him away from his son, away from Evan's school plays, away from bedtime stories. "I'll be home soon," promise he had broken. "It's about something much more than rank. It's about family. Something you might not get." Brian's teasing smile faltered for a split second. Then, he laughed, trying to deflect the sudden tension. All right. I didn't mean to get all deep on you. But, hey, you've been around longer than me. I'll give you that." The banter died down, but the words stuck with James. He wasn't just a sailor. He was a father. And maybe, just maybe, it was time someone acknowledged that. Days passed, and the Valor was nearing a port of call. The tension aboard the ship was palpable. Missions were being briefed, operations planned. But in the middle of all the technical jargon and military precision, James couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to change. One morning, as the officers and crew gathered on the deck for a routine meeting, Admiral Cameron Hayes, a no-nonsense officer with a reputation for sharp leadership, walked onto the deck. His eyes scanned the crew, and when they landed on James, they lingered for just a beat longer than usual. Brian, who had been standing beside James, leaned in and whispered, "Watch this. The Admiral always gives the quiet ones a hard time." But instead of his usual sharp glance, Admiral Hayes approached James with an unusual respect. "Mitchell, good to see you standing straight, as always." His voice was even, but there was something underneath it, an unspoken respect. James couldn't help but feel a slight pang in his chest. How long